Hi everybody, my name's Doug Wilson and this is Yellowhawk Customs Outdoors. You guys already know, the guys that are, veterans to the channel, that Bob and I spend a lot of time in the field doing all kinds of stuff, right? Now he's a little older than I am, so he's kind of slowing down, and now I'm starting to slow down. So, but when we were younger, we were out there all the time. He would call me up and he'd say, hey, you want to go backpacking or canoeing or rappelling for 4 or 5 days, whatever. We used to spend days out in the field, and I would say, yeah, I do, but I gotta work. Well, I've lost jobs over this stuff, okay? Because I spent so much time in the field, I didn't feel like going to work, or if I was in the Army, I would take leave or whatever.
Yeah,
I'd come back a day late. And
yeah, work's boring.
That's right, work's boring. So.
Yeah, or he'd have his mother when he was younger calling, trying to find out where he was all the time. She hated me because I took her darling out into the woods, which he loved it. So
yeah, it's just who I am. You know what I mean? Bushcraft, camping, rappelling, kayaking, canoeing. I just love being out there, especially in the winter. That's my thing, right?
Yeah, I can't get him to go hiking in the summer.
I hate summer hiking. I hate it, right? Anyway, Bob's going to talk about internal, external frame backpacks, right? As well as what, ponchos, poncho liners.
Yeah, and then I'm going to do a special review of something.
And then a special review of something. If you guys stick around, we're going to get right to it. We'll be right back.
Hey, Bob, Grizz here. I want to talk a little bit about the external frame pack and the internal frame pack. There are some pros and cons. And as you know, all pros and cons are opinionated. They're usually the person who's wearing them, using them, has used them, whatever. They tend to agree or disagree. And this is not a promotional one over one or the other, but there are some significant pros for an external frame pack, meaning that the framework itself is on the outside as shown here, okay, and the pack is attached to it, i.e. some of your Alice frames and whatever, the Alice pack is on a shorter frame, okay. And then the internal frame pack, which has the framework is integral within the pack. You see, as you can see through here, there's a plastic board here and everything's attached to it, and the pack is built around it, okay. Now, as far as this pack is concerned, this is called a Scalp by Jansport. I tend to like Jansport mainly because a lot of it's made in the US, the Philippines, Madagascar, whatever. You know my thing about China, okay. The other thing,
Madagascar is not China.
That's correct, it's part of Africa. Anyway, this pack here used to be a Scout option pack when we were coming up.
This was the standard.
Well, it's called the Scout because it was sold for, it's not a BSA recognized, but it was right. Sold for scouting. I had the old canvas yucca pack, which was actually a duffel bag canvas with a flap and 2 canvas straps that ripped your shoulders apart. They weren't good for backpacking. And then eventually they put a frame on it, and they had different types of canvas and a frame, which I have a number because I collect them, okay. Anyway, Doug and I, we used to use Camp Trails, Coleman, used to have external frame packs, and I have a Coleman frame that I put a Jansport pack on that's a little thicker than this. But I've decided to go back to the external frame for a number of reasons, and I'll explain them. Right now, if you look at this is a Jansport, and this is a 55 liter Klamath, okay. I have a 65 one also. All right, you can tell it's got the regular, you know, type elastic type pockets for a water bottle. It's got a front pouch here. It's got a top pouch, top loader. You know, you put stuff down inside just like a sack. You know, pulls tight, whatever. It's got a sternum, regular strap, sternum strap. You know, hip belt. You know, it's decently made. It's got some nice padding along the lumbar region here, along either side of the lumbar spine, and it's really a tight fitting pack. And that's one of the advantages of a internal frame pack, is they fit snug to the body. Now there's other packs out there that give you a little bit of a airway or a vent way or whatever. I think the ones you get, you carry what are they called?
The Ospreys?
The Ospreys do that. They have like a semi frame built in, and they give you an airway to keep things,
yeah, it got mesh
so your back doesn't sweat and whatever. So one of the disadvantages I find with this in the summer is that it hugs your body so tight that you sweat, okay? But the bag becomes part of you. And so when you move any lateral motion, side to side, front to back motion, the pack will stay nice and snug to your back. As in, these though do not, because, and one reason why Doug and I went to internal frame was that this is a rigid frame and your back goes to it, okay? It does not accommodate your back.
Yeah, the old saying was, you carry this, but you wear this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
So it's almost like a kayak and a canoe. You wear a kayak, you
right.
sit inside of a canoe. So anyway, these are adjustable. If you have a kid, young boy or girl who wants to camp, right, you can move this up and down, as well as these are the same now. The modern ones, you can move these straps up and down and whatever. This comes apart, sides off. There's a thing you adjust, okay, for length or whatever. One of the reasons, and you know, I'm just going to leave this alone for now. I just want to talk about the internal frame. One of
You're
these,
starting
the
to go
external
with
frame.
these now?
I am. Yeah, I bought 2 of these, and they're not expensive.
They are good for organization. I'll give them
well,
that.
that's my next point, is that organizationally, these are sort of like a cargo type pack. That
it's
you would,
like wearing a dresser drawer on your back.
Right, or taking
you know?
your luggage with you, you know,
right,
somewhere.
Right.
Okay, and so thereby, the other the thing about this is that each of these little tabs, this is iridescent, that lights up. So if you're hiking at night or dusk or whatever, and that's why I have this light on here that lights up. If you're walking on a street, sometimes on the Appalachian Trail, you have to cross streets, or you have to walk a road for a period of time. If it gets to be dusk or whatever, you want cars to see, it's good to have this hanging on your on the back of your pack. Plus, it can be used as a light also, okay, as well as a flashing thing. One of the things that work for you can put your tent up here. You can put right, your sleeping bag up here if you want, or back or down here, okay? You can put your sleeping pad, although the climates are like a blow up now and they fold up and go right inside. I personally do not like things hanging off my pack because right, it creates a drag. It might be minimal, but over a period of time, it starts to beat you up.
I think it really depends on how you do it, though.
Well,
if you put a nice compact sleeping bag
I'm not.
up here,
I don't have a map. You know, I'm just talking about like putting things
like
out here.
And boots
yeah, and things swinging and whatever.
Yeah,
okay, I'm not into that. Or an extra pack here. You know, whatever. One of the disadvantages we felt a long time ago was this stuff got hung up in trees and branches. If you had a narrow trail, they would reach out and grab you, and you'd be stuck on it. You know. Or if you were in a bushwhack, it's not a good bushwhacking pack.
Wait a minute, Vine.
Yeah, right. Secondly is, if you see how nice and organized this is, you lay things in. You don't have to do a grab bag where you have to grab inside of the bag. See?
Yeah, that is a super pain in the ass with
the
internal frame.
Yep.
You got to unload everything to get to something at the bottom. It's a pain in the ass.
This I can just lay down on its back, and here it all is. Mm-hmm. Okay. This is a hammock. It's just a regular old nylon hammock. Keep me a little bit off the ground if it's wet. I don't need to be suspended. All the other stuff. This is sort of like in case the weather changes. It's long john top, bottom, gloves, hat, and extra wool socks, because you never know. This is my Cadian water purifier. And then underneath here, okay, right here is my my stove and my cook. There's a canteen cup in there, my fuel. Now, I always carry beaners with me. You can use them for the hammock, but also it comes in with 550 cord if you need to rappel something, lower something, hang something.
Right.
It just is, and it has a figure of 8 descender. These are really nice to have on you. Okay, it's just an extra. It's just a Bob thing.
Those things got a lot of use when we were younger.
Yeah, they did. These came off my yak pack, as a matter of fact. And this is when we did rappelling. I have 2 of these, the 8s. In this brown bag back here, I have my food, I have tea, I have coffee, whatever. All right. So this is a pack that is going to be good for early spring to early fall. Okay, because it doesn't get too cold anymore here in Maryland or in Pennsylvania. And if I have to, I can always put the extra clothing on. All right. Now, in here, on this outside package, which I really like, I have accessible as my headlight, okay? All right? It's not a high speed, it's an Energizer. I've had it for years, okay? Here are some tent pegs and cordage, because I have in here a poncho, a military poncho, that I can set up as a tarp if I need to, okay? That's in the back cover here, all right? The rest of the stuff that's in here is sort of like nice things to have. I have my first aid kit, which I only carry bandages of different sizes. That's it. I don't carry a whole field hospital with me and whatever. Doug and I were both medics in the Army, and I was in the corpsman, and we humped the M5 bag. It's a pain in the ass, okay?
Oh,
so, and it was for a different reason.
That's a heavy unit.
And then I have my hand wipes and my I have to brush my teeth and just general hygiene stuff, okay? That's what I have in here. Now, I don't always carry tent pegs with me or whatever. I can always use it, make them out of wood, and so forth. But I have them, they're aluminum. You can get them at Walmart pretty cheap. And, just good to have around if you just want to set up a tarp or whatever. Now, I do have a tent. I have a teepee type tent. That's what I like. I like the teepee style tent with no floor. And that can sit up here. There you go. Anyway, in here, so now I have a 1.5 liter bottle. All right. So as I was saying, it's really important in the summer backpacking to hydrate. You don't know how much water you lose carrying 35 to 40 pounds
That's
or
my major
less.
issue now, hydration.
Is you get tired, and you're wondering why you're tired. You can't walk anymore. I was on the what the heck was it called? I forget the name of it. It was a Valley Trail in Pennsylvania, and I drank almost all my water before I even got to the shelter. And I mean, because I was getting lightheaded and everything. And I was carrying this pack here, this orange one, and I mean 30 pounds at the most if it was that, but mostly it's water you're going to carry. So I got over 2 liters of water here with the 2 side bottles in this bottle. Now you might say, well, Bob, why don't you use a platypus or a the camelback? Well, I have them, okay? And this is where this comes in great. You can put one up here, and water comes down. Gravity forces the water down into your mouth, rather than when you put it in the back of, they have these sleeves in the back of these internal frames, and you're drawing up. So I think that would work a little better. I'm going to work with that, but putting the bladder up here.
I haven't found any difference.
Yeah, I guess not. But
myself, because you're sucking on the tube.
Yeah, you're sucking on the tube. But if I can draw easier because of gravity, I'm going to give it a shot. Anyway, it's just a preference, a thought. All right. So what else do we have in here? Okay. Well, here's the military poncho. Okay. And this could be a tarp. This can be a ground cloth.
Is it new?
This is a bag I put in, but it's kind of new. It can be a ground cloth. It could be a poncho. It could be a poncho.
Is that the one with the buttons?
Yeah, it can cover your gear, in wet, whatever. It could be a drag. You could drag body. That's what we used to drag bodies in, was ponchos. You can drag.
They're strong.
You know, and there's a number of myriad of things you can do with them. Okay. So this is for my ground cloth. All right. And then here's a 35 or 30 degree bag. This is a Everest Elite by Slumberjack, made in the U.S. Slumberjack doesn't make things in the U.S. anymore.
No.
It's in China. But be as it may, I get vintage stuff off of eBay that other people have had that they don't want anymore, in good shape. I've never had a problem with any product I've ever bought. I really haven't. And
it really is pretty safe to buy off of eBay as long as you know what you're looking for.
it truly is. I mean, like I said, I mean, I get DVDs. I mean, Doug turned me on the eBay, much to my wife's chagrin. But you guys that are on a budget, that's what I would suggest, is eBay. And the thing is that this whole bushcraft experience is now dying. Okay, it's not as popular as it once was. It's the same way. It goes through transaction, whatever. We like to do outdoors. That stuff was outdoors, but it was basically stationary camping. Going back to the old canvas and cast iron, I don't have a problem with that. I did that stuff. That's why we went to the internal frame packs, you know, because you backpacking, you need a mule train to carry that stuff. Anyway,
Right.
just a thought. Now here's your suspension, two very simple straps. They have cotter pins, you know, and a hip belt. Okay, doesn't have a sternum strap. It's got a back pad, whatever. So it's, you know, it's like I said, it's preference. Now I've thought about taking the Alice pack straps and putting them on here. And I can actually put one of the Molly type belts on here. So if you want to build them up or you want to convert them, they're easy to do. Just use your you know, think outside the box. Use some ingenuity. All right. So this is just a short overview of this. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment area, and I'd be happy to try to answer them. The other thing is, if you're as budget-minded as I am, because I'm retired now, I go to I'll use Walmart sometimes. I'll use Goodwill a lot. That's where I got my Panama shirt from. I use the Scout Shop or the Scout Store. You don't have to be a scouter or anything to go to one in your area. They have the same gear. Sometimes it's a little pricey. Sometimes they have sales. So it's a nice place to buy something. But these have all been bought on eBay. Okay, even let's see, where did I get these? No, I bought these at Target. Right. Now the other thing I want to talk to you about real quick is the Poncho and Poncho Liner. All right. If you want a bag that's a summer bag, early fall, or you want to have something that you can put inside your sleeping bag or put this over top of your sleeping bag, this is already set up as a bag. The Poncho Liner is nice. It's right here. The newer ones, this is an old one. This is a Vietnam era one that I was issued. They call them Wobies from Desert Storm and whatever. I just knew it as a Poncho Liner. And you can throw your bag down inside here, give you a couple extra, you know, degrees on your bag. This is also on the outside. The poncho will be a ground cloth. Okay, these tie in on the grommets. You can untie them. You can make yourself a little lean-to type shelter low to the ground, and then you can wrap yourself up in the Poncho Liner itself. So I mean, I don't know the poundage on it. I've never weighed it. I guess it's about a pound and a half. If you know, let me know, if you know, if you care. But I think for something like an emergency, an everyday carry, in your survival bag, whatever, a Poncho Liner and a poncho would enhance your survivability. The other thing I think would go really well with this, if you're gonna, I did a video on these big Mountain Smith fanny packs. That goes in one of my fanny packs, is to have a Sol bag, S-O-L. It's orange on the outside and it has the reflector silver on the inside. That thing has saved my rear end on numerous occasions. inside a bag. I don't put it over the bag because it condensates and the bag gets wet, which cuts down its insulation properties. Okay, all of us sleep differently. Some of us guys don't mind real cold, we have a lighter bag. Some of us guys need a heavier bag, whatever. Okay, but if you use the sole as a liner, you get in it and you're going to be a little, I don't know, glistening, but you're going to stay warm. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to stay warm, and that way your bag doesn't get compromised and get wet, because I've seen it put over top of bags. Okay, now before we go a little further, I got a little special review because I'm almost done. We just show you some stuff. You can do with it what you want. Think about, like I said, ask questions in the comments, whatever. We don't, most of the time you'll see us if we're out and we're camping, we do the long videos where you see a fire built and
Right.
show guys hammocks, and Doug likes to go around and do gear reviews, and because he's a gearhead. Now, the other thing is, I like to kayak, and I have a canoe. I have 2 kayaks and a canoe. This will all be modified for kayaking. I can pretty much take this out with me if I wanted to, strap it to the outside of my kayak, although I wouldn't do a frame like this. I have a smaller bag, or put it behind my seat. Water situations, you need to have some different things, and maybe I'll do a review with that, because I'm going to pick my kayak up this week. I'll bring it up and we'll do a review. I'll put the kayak out, all the shit I use for kayaking, okay, and camping, kayaking, camping. So anyway, now going on about knives, a couple weeks ago I had a friend in Canada, Dan Charbonneau, who just started doing leather work. And the guy, you know, for a guy who just started doing leather work, he impressed the hell out of me, right?
Oh yeah.
So he showed, it's on the Woods Runner, and it's on, I think I posted some pictures on the Click. He showed his BK10, which I have had one, and I got the Coca-Cola scales on it, okay, and changed them out, which really makes it a little more nice. It's a nice mid-range knife for chopping, hacking, whatever.
Scales that you
They're
bought?
aftermarket scales, yeah. Took the plastic ones off and put the wooden ones on.
And they fit perfect?
They fit fine. You got to make, it's for the BK 2 through the 12 or something like that. But they have different ones for the other sizes, you know. Anyway, they were like $45.
Yeah.
They come out of Utah. So anyway, I did that to upgrade, because I want to use the knife. And I'm not in the military anymore, and if you look too military now going out, you know, you'll have protesters saying you're a baby killer and shit. So I want to be a gray man, you know. I want to be nondescript, okay? Anyway, it's pretty much, and I had the original crewman made by Camelus, which came in a green plastic sheath.
Right.
It was stolen from, a number of things were stolen in my apartment. Anyway, what I want to show you is some really great work that Dan did for me, and he's in Canada and he's in Ontario. I'm just going to show you the sheath. This is a left-hand draw. He did the dimpling. He put, you know, of course, my nickname and my spirit helper is the grizzly bear. So he's got 2 grizzly paws on there. He has a Celtic symbol for strength, which is just not always physical strength.
Now, Bob and I used to do a lot of leather work.
Yeah, we did.
This is really good.
It is excellent.
He did a great job.
He's very meticulous about how he cuts everything out, you know, preforms. He actually has models, you know, made out of cardboard or whatever that he draws to, so he can replicate it over and over again. The red trim was nice as offset. I like dark browns, like the Kodiak, you know. So he made it a dark brown for me. I mean, and I like the belt, this type of belt cross draw. It's also left-handed, you know, it sits here, draw this way. I'm not a big belt sheath guy. I wear them around my neck, or the bigger knives I put in the pack. It's just, I don't know, it's just me. I hate having shit around my waist. And in the winter, fall, I have a lot of cargo pocket type coats or pullovers, anoraks. That's where my big knife goes. It sits in my cargo. I like it on me. I don't want it on a belt. I don't like to drag. I don't like moving it out of the way. I just don't like it. Okay, but Dan did an excellent job on this. The retention on this is very tight. as I use the knife, it will probably loosen up, but you can always, you can always wet form it again. Okay, I may put some saddle soap on it, which will soften it up a little bit.
That has to do with the quality and thickness of leather that he used.
Yeah, I think he said he was using 9 ounce.
That's
or
pretty
something
thick
like that.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, Dan, this goes out to you, buddy. Thank you, friend. And as they always say, the check's in the mail. but anyway, I just wanted to show that. Okay, so listen, you guys have a good summer, and I'll try to get another one out here and there. And thank you so very much for listening to my pontification, and God bless. We'll see you. Grizz out.
Okay, guys, I don't know if I'm in frame or not, but
that's the gorilla pose.
Right. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll have some more for you in the future.
Stay tuned.
Yellowhawk Customs Outdoors. Combat and wilderness grade custom knife and sheath systems. We've got the badass gear for the badass outdoorsman. Yellowhawk.